So this is the course includes Linux fundamentals, Linux basics. Apart from that, I'm going to cover the Linux administration with AWS Cloud, how to create the account in AWS, how to launch the servers in AWS, how you're going to connect to the server through AWS, and how to copy the data from your laptop to the server in the AWS Cloud, how to copy the data, and find commands, set commands, set arc. These commands are mainly used for programmers, developers, and data processing, arc, and networking. And working with the Linux shell. So first we'll see the installation part. Yesterday I asked you to download the software, Vmware Workstation, and CentOS ISO image. So install the VMware Workstation first. Go to Home, create a new virtual machine. Select create a new virtual machine. Select custom, advanced, default is typical. Select custom, advanced. Select custom, advanced. Select next. Take default, next. Take default, next. Select the option, I will install the operating system later. I will install the operating system later. Next. Default is Windows. Default is Windows. Select Linux. Linux. Default Ubuntu. Select CentOS. Either Red Hat or CentOS. Version 7 64-bit. Version 7 64-bit. Sometimes you can't able to install the 64-bit because your processor does not support 64-bit. In that case, download the 32-bit kernel. Or you have to go to BIOS. In the BIOS, we have option called VT enable. By default, VT stands virtual technology. By default, VT disable mode. When VT disable mode, you cannot install 64-bit kernel. Go to BIOS, change that disable to enable. Next. Where do you want to install this operating system? By default, under C drive. Sometimes if you don't have free space in the C drive, if you have multiple drives, then go to browse. Select the drive letter where we have free space. Drive letter where we have free space. Press OK. Specify the folder name. Specify the folder name. Next. Processor take default. Next. RAM minimum 1 GB, recommended 2 GB. So 2048. 2048. Next. Network connection take default, that is NAT. Network connection take default NAT. Next. IO controller take default LSA logic. IO controller take default LSA logic. Next. Virtual disk type take default SCSI. So going forward, we discuss what are these IDE, what is SCSI, what is SATA. So take default SCSI. Take default create a new virtual disk. Take default create a new virtual disk. How much size you want? Take default 20 GB. 20 GB is more than enough. Take default. Name of the disk file, take default. Name of the disk file, take default. Next. Finish. So virtual machine is created. Now install the operating system from the ISO file, from the DVD or ISO image. For that, you have to attach that ISO file, ISO image to the virtual machine. So how to attach? Edit virtual machine. Edit virtual machine settings. Select the CD DVD. Select CD DVD. Select use ISO image file. If you have a DVD CD-ROM drive, then take this default option. This is for DVD and CD-ROM drive. But nowadays we are not using DVDs. In place of DVDs, we are using ISO image. So yesterday I given the link how to download this ISO file. If you already downloaded, then select this option, use ISO image file. So when we download the ISO file, where that file download, by default downloads option, downloads folder. By default downloads folder. So go to browse, downloads folder, select the ISO file. So this is my ISO file. Attach, open, press OK. Now power on the virtual machine. Power on this virtual machine. Select the first option, install CentOS 7. You have to click the mouse in the black screen. Click the mouse in the black screen. Then select the first option, install CentOS 7. Press enter. Basically, the installation part is required for administrators, Linux administrators. This is not the job of developers. Developers going to work on the servers where the OS already installed. They never get a chance to install the OS. That's the job of Linux admin. but still you have to practice the commands and the shell programming. So you need to understand how to install the Linux in your laptop. So this course, which includes some topics on AWS, some topics on Linux administration, some topics on networking, and we are covering in-depth in basic commands and shell scripting. So as a developer, you need to understand how to configure network, how to communicate the remote systems, how to install the software. You just press Control Alt Enter. Control Alt Enter for full screen. Press Control Alt Enter. Select Continue. Take default English Continue. So you get the videos, recorded videos. If anybody missed the class, you'll get the recorded videos. So select the date and time. Date and time. Asia, Kolkata. If you don't know the map, you can choose the options here itself. Asia, Kolkata. Done. Software selection. Remaining all you take default. After date and time, select software selection. Default is minimal install. In minimal install, no GUI, no graphical mode, no desktop, only CLI, command line interface. You'll see only command line interface, no desktop, no graphical mode. So, but as a fresher, you want to see the desktop, you want to work on desktop mode, then choose either Genome Desktop or server with graphical user interface. Either this or this for desktop. Select Genome Desktop. Done. But real time, we always install minimal install, not the genome. Why minimal? Why not genome? We'll discuss later. But for today class, as a fresher, select genome. Done. Installation destination. The who are learning AWS or who are already learn AWS and DevOps, this is very, very helpful because I know that the institutions who are taking AWS DevOps classes, they are not going to cover much in Linux administration. So this is very helpful for those guys where we are going to cover depth in the Linux admin. So that how you are going to pay, you can discuss with our team, DURGASOFT team. They'll tell you the how to do the payment. So select installation destination. Select the installation destination. Here we have two options: automatically configure partition and configure partition. I will configure partition. This is for experts. This is for experts. but as a basic pressure, select this one, automatically configure partition. Going forward, I'll explain this, how to select this one, what the advantage of this, that we'll discuss later. Now for today class, select automatically configure partition, take default one, select done. Then select begin installation. When we install Linux operating system, an account by default create. That account we called as a root account. Root is the administrator login name. Root is the administrator login name. So we need to create the password for root user. I am giving the password as a Red Hat. While giving the password, give the password which we can easily remember. Tomorrow if you forget the root password, again it's very long process. For breaking the root password is very lengthy process, which I'm not going to cover for this programmers developers. That is the admin part, not the developers part. So because there's a reason while giving the root password, make sure that don't give the complicated password. Otherwise, again you have to terminate the VM, again you have to install the operating system. Because I'm not going to cover how to break the password for this shell scripting batch. That is the admin part. So select done. Then create a user. Create any user with your name, password, any password. This password you can give any lengthy password. Even this user forget the password. I am a root account, I am a root user, I can reset the password. So this password you can give any lengthy password. But root password should be user friendly. Select done. So it will take some time. So because some newcomers for today class, I'm just repeating the yesterday class for brusher. So there are two types of accounts, two types of users in Windows and Linux. What are those? Anyone? Windows we call administrator account and normal user account. What is the difference between the administrator and normal user? Only administrator can install the software, can configure network, can create the users, can take the backup, who can control entire server. A normal user cannot. If you log in as an ATM user with ATM card, you are the normal user. Your job is only see the balance amount, change the PIN number, draw the amount. That's it. You log into the gmail.com, yahoo.com, you are the normal user. Your job is only to check the mails. Similarly, in Linux we have two types of account. One is called root account, the other one we call user account. That is called normal user. The difference is if you are logged as a root user, you'll see the prompt as a hash prompt. Root user we also call super user. we also called super user. What prompt will get? Hash prompt. Hash indicates you are the administrator, you are the super user, you are the root user. If I logged as a normal user, you'll see dollar prompt. Dollar indicates you are the programmer, you are the developer, you are the normal user. That is the basic difference between hash and dollar. So programmers, developers will always work at the dollar prompt because they don't have administrator password. They don't have the root password. They cannot log in as a root. They're going to work only at the dollar prompt. But as a Linux administrator, we never logged as a normal user. As an admin or root user, never ever log in as a normal user. Always log in as a root. This is a basic difference between root account and user account. And one more thing you have to remember that Windows operating system is not case sensitive. It will take uppercase, lowercase. We can give the capital letters or small letters, it doesn't matter. Whereas Unix and Linux is case sensitive. The commands, all the Unix commands should be lowercase. Cannot be uppercase. It won't accept the uppercase. Let us, for example, here I am logging as a root. I know the root password. Give the root password. So what prompt I got? Dollar hash prompt. Why hash prompt? Because I logged as a root. But how do you check type who am I? It is showing that you are the root user. So what is who am I? To know who is logged in. You want to check the current logged in user. The command is who am I. So if I type capital letters, I can't understand. So all the commands should be lowercase, cannot be uppercase. We'll discuss about types of files. Before that, in Windows we have file, folder, and device. Windows we have file, folder, and device. What is the difference between file, folder, and device? File contains data. File contains data. Folder contains subfolders and files. Device, which are called devices, hard disk, DVD, floppy, keyboard, mouse, monitor, all these are devices. All the hardware components we called as a devices. When you come into the Unix or Linux, a file is a file, a folder also a file, a device also a file. This is the one of the good feature. Unix, everything treat as a file. No folder concept, no device concept. Keyboard is a file, mouse is a file, monitor is a file, hard disk is a file, everything is a file concept. When we call everything is a file, then what are the types of files available? The first one is a regular file. Regular files we also call ordinary files. We also call ASCII test files. All are same. Regular files, ordinary files, ASCII test files, all are same. What are these ASCII test files, regular files in Windows? Windows we call as a WordPad, Notepad, MS Word, all these are the regular files or ASCII test files. Directory file. Windows we call as a folder. Windows we call as a folder. Unix we call as a directory file. Device files. Types of device files. Block special file. Which are block special file? All storage devices. Storage devices comes under block special file. Which are storage devices? Your hard disk, DVD, floppy, pen drive, USB drive, all these are storage devices. Comes under block special files. Character special files. Those are input and output devices. Input and output devices comes under character special files. Example, keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, scanner, all this comes under character special files. Linked files. Types of linked files. Soft link and hard link. What is this linked file Windows? When we install any third-party software like Google Chrome, Vmware Workstation, any third-party software, a shortcut by default create in desktop. Those shortcut we called as a linked file. Linux we called as a linked file. What is this soft link? What is this hard link? We'll discuss later. Empty files. Windows we can create empty folder, empty files. Linux also we can create empty files. Hidden files. Hello. చెప్పండి లేదండి నాకు కార్ కొద్ది ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది ఇంటికడ ఈరోజు క్లాస్ లేదు సో హిడెన్ ఫైల్స్ నెక్స్ట్ బైనరీ executable files. Which are binary executable in Microsoft, your Notepad, WordPad, Google Chrome, all the applications are binary executable. Socket files. Socket files deal with the system hardware. We call it the socket programming. We can't able to access it only for the kernel. tar files, cp/io files, zip files. These are called backup files. tar, cp/io, zip files. These are called backup files. We'll discuss later while discussing administration part. So these are the types of files available in Unix or Linux. Any questions? In Linux fundamentals, we are going to discuss how to create the regular file, how to access, how to create directory file, how to create linked file, empty files, hidden files. All these types of files we discuss how to create, how to access. So now when we have these many types of files, how do you come to know that what type of file it is? Is it a regular file, or directory file, or linked file, or device file, or empty file? How do you find out that? So there is a command called ls-l. There is a command called ls-l. We can run this command from the dollar prompt. We can run this command from the hash prompt. But while practicing basic commands, don't practice from the dollar prompt. Always log in as a root. Even though we can run these commands from the dollar prompt, basically whatever we discuss the basic commands, what we are going to discuss the basic commands. These basic commands we can run from the dollar prompt, we can run from the hash prompt. But whereas administrator commands cannot be run from the dollar, only from the hash. Because this was designed for the dollar post, not for the admin, we can run this command from the dollar as well as hash. But for best practice, always run these commands from the hash prompt. Don't run from the dollar prompt. Once the installation part is done, I'll show you how to log in as a root user. So don't think that these commands we cannot run from the dollar. We can run. For best practice, always run from the hash prompt. So what this command does, to know what type of file it is. If you run this command, you'll see the output. In that, when the first character hyphen, that indicates it's a regular file, or ASCII text file, or ordinary file. If the first character D, that indicates it's a directory file. If it is a linked file, If it is yes, socket file. If it is B, block special file. If it is C, character special file. So how do we come to know that what type of file it is? Run the command ls space -l. By seeing the first character, we can find out what type of file it is. You see ls. How to know which one is file, which one is directory? You type ls space -l. You see the first character hyphen. That indicates it's a regular file or ordinary file or ASCII text file. If it is D, D stands directory file. Another example. C for character special file, D for directory file, L stands linked file, B stands block special file. So by seeing the first character, we can find out what type of file it is. Another important command to know the type of the file, we just type file, name of the file. Here the name of the file is, for example, A. A is the file name. The file name. What is showing ASCII test file. File name. What is showing directory file. File name. Block special file. Which are comes under block special file storage devices. SD is the hard disk. Hard disk nothing but a storage. That's why it's showing that block special file. File name. It is showing that executable file. All the commands are executable. All the Unix commands are executable. So you want to know the type of the file. There are two commands. One is ls-l command I can use, or I can use file command. File name. Both the commands to know what type of file it is. So I told you that these commands we can run from the dollar prompt, we can run from the hash prompt. But here I logged as a root user. You can check it via my. Even though we can run this command from the dollar prompt, but for best practice, never ever log in as a normal user, always log in as a root. I'll tell you why you have to practice at the hash prompt, why not at the dollar. I'll tell you later. But always log in as a root and practice this command. But as a developer, you don't have root access. Developers, they don't have the root access because they don't have the password. They have to execute this command, they have to work at the dollar prompt only. How do you get the dollar prompt? For example, I create a user add username, su space user. Now this is called dollar prompt. Type VMI. You see here, when I type VMI at the hash prompt, it is saying that you are the root. Other than root, all are normal users. They'll get only dollar prompt. These commands we can run from the hash prompt, we can run from the dollar prompt. Any questions? So why do you want to know the type of the file? Unless until without knowing the type of the file, that file we can't able to access. You want to create the regular file, the command is different. For directory file, the command is different. For linked file, command is different. Empty file, command is different. So you need to understand what type of file it is as a developer or Linux admin. Otherwise, you can't able to access. Yeah, we are doing installation. Any questions?
I have one question.
Yeah, I'll share the installation link. Uh, yeah, tell me.
Will this course is useful for Linux administration or it is for developer purpose?
See, I started the separate batch for Linux administration. It is a ATM batch.
Okay.
It is a course designed only for the developers. Even we are going to discuss some topic on administration, but not going to cover all the topics of administration in this batch. Further, we have a separate batch started at 8 o'clock.
Actually, I want to learn DevOps, but before that only I want to learn Linux. Which one is useful, like administration or developer course?
DevOps require mandatory Linux administration, Linux basics and administration. Without that, you can't able to work, you can't able to learn DevOps. Linux admin is mandatory. Shell scripting is the added advantage. You know, sometimes if you join as a Linux administrator, like DevOps engineer with 2 years, 3 years experience, sometimes they'll ask you to write the shell script. It is not a mandatory, but having the knowledge of shell scripting is an added advantage for DevOps. But Linux administration is a mandatory.
Okay, in website we did not find this 8 a.m. course. I only find this 9 a.m. course.
Yeah, you want to come, you can join in the ATM batch.
Okay.
So when it starts the ATM batch?
ATM batch started 2 days back, 2-3 days back.
So how we will come to know? Hello, sir.
You coordinate with the uh, DURGASOFT team. They'll send the link ATM batch link for you. You can join from tomorrow with that link.
So you are only teaching that course, sir?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's morning 8 a.m. na, sir?
Yeah, morning 8 a.m. You just mail them or you contact them with a mobile number and say that tomorrow I'm going to join at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. batch.
Sir,
They'll send the
actually,
link for 8 a.m.
actually, I want to do all the mentioned content, admin part also, shell scripting, AWK, said whatever you have mentioned. So that AWK and
Okay.
said is enough for me. But for I want to go deep to admin part also because I already work in Linux, but I'm as a software developer. I also need to know something more about admin part also.
Okay. What's your good name?
My name is Mahendra, sir.
Manohar.
Mahendra.
Can you raise your hand here?
Okay, sir. Wait. Yeah,
Mahendra said. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, Mahendra, I'll tell to the DURGASOFT team that you're interested for both the courses.
yeah,
So they'll contact you and give the details.
yeah. Okay, sir. So actually, that class which will be going to start at 8 a.m. So at what time the whole it I should get released by 10:15 because I have to reach to the office also.
Okay, 10:15. So it is not possible to come at 9 o'clock for you?
Yeah. So if you are going to release me till 10, then this course is very good for me. If admin is not there also means I can't means I can continue from 8 to 10 batch. Okay. So
No, you should
I
know
want,
you can attend the batch 8 to 9, 9 to 10 sharp by 10 o'clock. I'm going to complete this.
yeah. So if that is possible, then please ask the team to call me because I am
Yes.
already in a flow because I want to learn DevOps, AWS, all these things because I wanted to go through. I mean, there are many new technologies which are coming to my organization. So just I wanted to go through these courses so that after 2 or 3 months I must be able to do something in that.
Okay. I'm the trainer for AWS DevOps as well.
Yeah.
So if anyone interested after completion of this Linux part, they can continue the
Yeah,
AWS and DevOps.
I will continue, sir. Just make sure that the timing should be between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. only.
Yes, sure. I'll intimate that your name to the team. They'll contact you. So whoever they're interested for Linux administration, they can join at 8 o'clock from tomorrow.
Yeah,
You please
because I
contact that.
didn't got the link. The other guy who I also did not receive the link of 8 a.m. in the morning. So I got this link of 9 a.m. So I thought I should just attend it and I will come to know what is going on. So whatever you are teaching, it's already very good. I wanted to learn admin part also. So we can go from basic from admin to till end of the course till DevOps, what has been mentioned in the
Okay,
course.
okay, sure.
Okay.
I think that DevOps. Just hold on.
Hmm.
So support project in banking segment, did I need to know the admin? Yes, you need to know the Linux admin as well, apart from the shell scripting. Working as an MQ admin, I need to learn shell scripting in the course in any requirements are there. MQ admin also need to know the shell scripting knowledge. It is a added advantage for you people. Even for Linux administration also good for MQ admin. So you can, if you want to join for Linux admin, it's at 8 a.m. clock, 8 a.m. batch, and shell scripting is 9 a.m. batch. If you want to continue both the batches as you wish, you can continue.
Shell scripting is not covered in admin course.
8 a.m. batch is purely Linux admin. In that shell scripting won't be covered. That is only for purely administrators. Because the thing is, who are not good at the programming, who are not good at the logical thinking, they'll go for admin side. So if I forcibly introduce the shell scripting in that admin, they feel that it is difficult to get a job because shell scripting are not able to understand, which is not mandatory for Linux administrators. That's why we design separate course for the developers who are good at the scripting. They can learn the shell scripting. Course duration is 35 days, max 35 days, 35 working days, not 35 days, 35 working days.
So for DevOps, which one is better, admin course or developer course?
I told you, no, admin is mandatory.
Okay.
Because DevOps, nothing but development team is separate, operation team is separate. There are two different teams going to work in DevOps, development team and operation team. So development team requires shell scripting knowledge. You're asking to reboot the system, you reboot it, please click on reboot. Development team requires scripting knowledge, operation team required Linux administration and AWS knowledge. But sometimes, in some cases, they might ask to write the script for any activity.
As per my knowledge, sir, scripting is must for any DevOps and any Linux admin. They should know scripting language.
And that's what I'm going to give the training and also support. So some guys are coming to my home for support, but they don't have any scripting knowledge. So they learn after they join in the DevOps. If they require scripting, at that time they're going to learn. But for learning the DevOps, Linux administration is mandatory. Tomorrow, if you're working as a DevOps engineer, there if it is a demand for the scripting, then you can learn at that time itself. But for learning DevOps, Linux admin is mandatory. So asking the license key, accept license agreement, done. Finish the configuration. I install Linux in graphical mode, which takes more time for installation and takes more time for booting the operating system. For real time, we never install Linux with graphical mode. We'll always install in text mode. That I'll show you later how to install Linux with text mode. Here, username and not listed. As I told you, never log in as a normal user. always log in as a root. For that, select not listed. Select not listed. Give the login name as a root and password. So how to open the terminal? So this is the only first time you'll get. You click on next, click on next, click on next, click on skip, start using CentOS, click on this and close this window. After installation, when I reboot it, first time it asks this, close this, right click on desktop, open the terminal. Right click on desktop, open the terminal. Why I got a hash prompt? Because I logged as a root. What is this prompt? We'll discuss tomorrow. So this is what, how to install the operating system, how to boot, and how to log in as a root account. So you want to shut down it, just type power off. Power off will shut down the server. We will continue this session tomorrow. So any queries, you can ask the DURGASOFT team. If anyone interested for the Linux admin, they can join from tomorrow, 8 AM link.
Okay, so same link.
Sir, what is the course duration for this course? 9 AM one?
35 days.
This shell scripting one?
35 working days.
Okay. Okay.
35 to 40, that depends.
So Saturday, Sunday there will be no lecture, na? Saturday, Sunday there will be no lecture. Only Monday to Friday.
Yeah, 5 days a week. Sometimes I'll take Saturdays also.
Okay.
But I'll tell you before one day whether Saturday class is there or not. But regularly 5 days a week. Saturdays is optional.
Okay, so I got your message of 8 AM link. So I will join tomorrow at that link at 8 AM in the morning.
Yeah, you can contact. You have a number, right? Mail ID number of DURGASOFT. So send the mail. Contact that team. They'll send the link.
Okay.
8 AM.
Can you do one favor, Sarji? That please inform them also, so that I will also write down the mail to them. Okay, regarding that.
Okay. You're Mahendra, right? I'll inform them.
Yeah, please, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.